Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and welcome back to the next movie review. And now this time I'll be reviewing another film from last year, which I would consider I put this on my worst, considering that since I reviewed Godzilla -1, I consider I put it on my top best ones, which I will say this is which Godzilla -1 easily beats this film, easily. But the thing is, though, and that is of the Marvels, another MCU Marvel film from last year, which I reviewed the other two ones, Ant-Man, Quantumania, or Ant-Man 3, and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. So, but this is another one that just sucked. Although I did like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I did. To me, it's the best. To me, it's the best superhero film that I've seen, because all the other superhero films, whether it's both Marvel or DC, sucked. So, but the Marvels ones, I knew this film would suck, so I'm not fully surprised. I wasn't surprised at all. That's why I'm not fully mad at this one. I'm not fully raged, or I'm not all pissed off, so, because I knew this film would suck. I knew it would, so that's why I'm not gonna go in full rage mode and yell and scream, because I knew this film would suck. Even from the trailer, it sucked, and just looked to be another boring Marvel film. It turns out it was. This one's the Marvel's sequel to Captain Marvel from 2019. And also the thing is, though, I knew, and it was sucking. The thing is, though, this is the first MCU film that bombed. It's the lowest grossing of the MCU series, and yeah, it made less money than the Incredible Hulk from 2008. Because at the time it was the Incredible Hulk from 2008. That was the lowest, and this film didn't even surpass that, and that's sad, and this film bombed, and it deserves so. Because I think people are starting to wake up that people are feeling, superhero fatigued. It is a real thing, because if you look at all the DC films from last year and the Marvel films from last year, people are just getting tired of superhero films. The DC films, Shazam 2 bombed, Blue Beetle bombed. Even Aquaman: The Lost Kingdom didn't make as much money, considering the first one made over $1 billion. And same with this film. Ant-Man 3 underperformed. Guardians of the Galaxy was the best one, because even though that didn't make $1 billion, but still, that film made money, made over $800 million worldwide, because Guardians of the Galaxy was a popular name. People liked the characters like Peter Quill or Drax or Nebula, especially Rocket or Groot. That's why the film made more money than all the superhero films last year. Although I did like Spider-Man across the Spider-Verse. Granted, it was an animated movie, though, but still, it's a Spider-Man movie regardless. That film made money. That is also that's the second highest superhero film, you can say. And that's another one I liked, because it was one of the big things I'd say about Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse: beautiful animation. And that made more money than the first Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. So yeah, I even like that one, though, but I'm considering the live action ones I'm trying to refer to, though. So, but I knew this film would. I was surprised this film bombed that badly, but it deserves so. Even critics were not that wowed about it. 62% Rotten Tomatoes, 5.7 on IMDb. The ratings for this film were not even that great either. So, and it's like I think people are starting to wake up that, people are just getting tired of superhero films. And at this point, I am. And to me, yes, I'm also, I said before, I'm just getting burned out. I'm getting so burned out of superhero movies. And last year proved that, It did. Last year was proof that people are just tired of superhero films, or they're just burned out. They're just saying, a superhero film. They just look at it, see same thing over and over, basically. So, but and also, probably not this film suck. This is from the director Neo-Costa or Nia. Nia DaCosta. This is the same director who did the 2021 Candyman remake, or also / sequel. Yeah, you get the director of the Candyman remake to do a superhero movie, because Candyman 2021 is basically it's like killed white people, just. I'm like, okay, I can see where this is going with this one, kill the white people, I'm not saying that it's racist or anything. Just watch the movie. I ain't making it up. I mean, so anyway, that's that. So this probably be on my worst list, yes, of course, but it'll be much more higher up, though. It would not be in my top 5 at all. I mean, probably won't, maybe because there was a lot of films. Probably won't. I won't have a top 10. I probably won't, because they'll be much higher up then, because there's a lot of films I hated last year. Yeah. See. Anyway, Captain Marvel, the Marvels. Brie Larson comes back as Captain Marvel. Carol Danvers. And you have Teyonah Parris, who plays Rambo. Now the thing is, though, one thing you could say, though, I mean, you have to watch the TV shows and stuff, all this stuff, to make connections of what's going on in this movie. From dealing with characters. If you watch just the movies by itself, you're wondering, who are these people? Oh, because you have to watch the TV shows to get the understanding, right? That's one other thing, because because you have to watch the shows to understand what these characters are, because Rambo was in WandaVision, that's how she get her powers, and then you have to watch the Miss Marvel TV show, to get understanding, and then also with the Secret Invasion. I mean, you have to sit there and waste your time to watch all these shows to understand both of these other characters, But if you just watch a movie by yourself, you're probably just confused, oh, who's this character, or who's that character, No, because you have to watch the TV show to understand. but anyway, so it's Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel. Because for a while back, she destroyed the Supreme Intelligence. The Supreme Intelligence, that wasn't the first Captain Marvel. That was what Annette Bening was pretending to be. It was pretending to be Annette Bening, right? And who the Supreme Intelligence is the leader of the Kree Empire, right? She destroyed it because she felt like she was doing the right thing, but it ends up leading into a war, and so it was that one, which that was a while ago, and so time has passed now. The Kree is losing, their air and water and stuff like that, and their sun is dying. So this Kree, which the thing is nothing but but women, that's another thing about this film. Because all of these superheroes are women, and the villain is a woman as well, and that's another thing that people will probably think about this film, it's just show his women power, I mean, I don't think it's not being sexist at all, though, because I like strong women, Ripley from Aliens, that's a prime example, and there was several strong women I've seen in other movies and TV shows, especially also in anime as well, But it's just, I think people are just seeing that this is just like, like a SJ or CW type baloney, Probably maybe I think that's another reasons why the film bombed. I think it's just because it's another politically correct movie, because all three are women and the villain is a woman. To me, it's nothing that special because the villain is about as bland and boring as you can come. No, it's not because she's a woman. No, because the villain is just another boring villain. I mean, she's just one of the blandest, boring villains I've seen in a while in a Marvel movie in the MCU, right? I mean, Kang with Jonathan Majors was a much better villain than this woman, or the High Evolutionary was a much better villain. Because first of all, like the High Evolutionary, you felt unsympathy for because all the experience he did to Rocket, and being cold, heartless, and Kang, I thought Jonathan Majors, once again, I thought he was the best part of that Ant-Man 3 movie. I am Kang. There are much better villains than this woman. And of course, she's a creep because she has one of the hammers that Ronan the Accuser had, from the first Guardians of the Galaxy. She had one of those hammers that he had. And so she's looking for this bracelet. They found one, but the other one belongs to Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel. So, but then, and also what's going on, Rambo is working with Nick Fury. There's this there's like this barrier or energy thing as she touches it, and this causes like her to switch places with Kamala Khan inside the suit. So one thing I did find was interesting because all three of the Marvels, their powers, each time they use their powers, they switch places to whatever location they were at, right? Like for instance, when Kamala Khan, one thing you say that she is a big fan of Captain Marvel. She has all of Carol all around in her room, drawings, posters. She's a big fan, and she uses her power. Then she ends up being transported to where Carol was, and she's been now transported into Carol's now in like Kamala's room. So, and vice versa, right? Because wherever they use their powers, they get transported to what location they were each time they use their powers, right? And which ultimately leads to one of the fights where they're all switching places with the fight with the Kree, and I mean that idea could have been interesting, but when you see it a whole bunch of times though, it does a bit redundant though to me though. But I mean one of the fights is when they're fighting Kree soldiers, and also in Kamala's home with her family. And Nick Fury's what's going on. He's trying to ask Rambo or Carol what's going on. So, but when eventually all that is over, that's when Rambo and Nick Fury go to Kamala's house. So they have to. One thing I will say though, it's a boring movie. It's dull and boring. But one thing I could say, it is a short movie. It's only 90 minutes long. I'm like, wow, they finally made a Marvel movie, an MCU, whatever. That's not over 2 hours long. Wow, I was so impressed, Yeah, it's only about a little over 90 minutes. Minus end credits. So the three have to go together to stop the Kree. First, they go to this new with the Skrulls, because the Skrulls, they're trying to find find a new safe haven for the Skrulls, and which ultimately leads to another fight. Just basic of a fight, you can see. Basic of a fight, and Because they're trying to, they go to like this planet where the Skrulls are, like they think they're trying to get the water or the air, and when they're trying to suck the air out of the atmosphere, it just kind of reminds me like just the idea of Spaceballs, with Mel Brooks as a President Scrooge, right? He wants to get Planet Druidia's heir, so they can save his planet, right? Planet Spaceball, right? I'm like, you're trying to steal the idea from Spaceballs, which I'm sorry. Spaceballs is a lot better movie, and it's a lot more funnier than this movie. Because Spaceballs is one of my all-time favorite comedies. I think it is my all-time favorite comedy still, because I still laugh my ass off of that movie. Mel Brooks, Rick Moranis, Bill Pullman, John Candy, you know. I love Spaceballs. But they're trying to steal the idea of, like, oh, we're trying to suck all the air out of the atmosphere. It just reminds me of that they just took from Spaceballs. Great. So, and then they try to get save much of the scrolls as they can. Then, as they're on the ship, Valkyrie, Tessa Thompson, comes back in a cameo to take the scrolls somewhere safer. And she's wearing a suit, which, first of all, it's kind of funny. She's wearing a suit. I know in Thor: Love and Thunder she was wearing a suit because she's now into Earth politics and advertisements, like for Spice and stuff like that. Old Spice, the deodorant. But it's funny she's wearing a suit because she's also trying to be like do like her Men in Black impression, because hey, she was in Men in Black, the fourth one, International, which I find that's quite a coincidence. She was wearing a Men in Black suit in that. And she's wearing a suit in this. I'm like, is she being Valkyrie, or is she being her character from Men in Black International? But she has a cameo in there. She takes the scrolls away, and so they have to find a way to just use their powers. The three try to fight each other, fight their battles without trying to use their switching places for now sufficiently. And like Kamala's trying to make Rambo give her a code name because she doesn't have one. And then they go to this planet, which I'm like, they go to this planet where the people sing, and this is where we get a musical number. I'm like, why they put a musical number in this movie? Because the song and the singing sucked, and they were supposed to be Carol was there before, and I guess it was a custom, like she married this prince, this Asian prince, and this guy, his acting sucked. The whole singing sucked. The whole musical number sucked. Why they put this, make this sing a musical? Why? I have no idea. The whole scene sucked. And so then they try to fight the Kree some more, and about as basic, boring, and you can think of. So, what else? And so, in the meantime, Kamala's family, they're in the spaceship with Nick Fury. And so then the cat, the alien cat Goose, the Flurkin, that's what it's called. It looks like a cat, but it's a Flurkin. So Goose has a litter of alien kittens. And this whole thing was stupid anyway. This whole thing was so stupid, because the ship is getting attacked, the spaceship that they're at, and there's not enough escape pods, so they get the idea to have Goose and all her kittens, alien kittens, to swallow all the rest of the space crew in there, swallow them, have them all in one space pod, go down to Earth, and when they do, spit them back out. I'm like, jeez. And that's supposed to be funny too. And the thing about Samuel Jackson as Nick Fury, he's wasted in this, And the thing is, this character is also getting ruined as well, because how it was in Secret Invasion, I only saw like one episode, but I can see where his character is leading to, though, right? I mean, this character, Samuel Jackson, if you include cameos where he was in previous movies, Sam Jackson has been more more of the MCU franchise than any other actor, more than Robert Downey Jr. or Chris Evans, He's been like his character's been more than any Marvel movies I've seen in this whole franchise, if you count his cameos as well, like end credits or whatever, from the past movies. And Sam Jackson, he says, I think he's just getting tired of being this role. I know it's probably a contract and trying to keep in canon with all the other movies. I know. I mean, I like Sam Jackson. I liked him as Nick Fury. I mean, thing is, of course, with the whole thing of Captain Marvel with his eye, which just threw that a Winter Soldier, the last time I trusted someone, I lost an eye. That was thrown out the window. That was a joke, when he showed Robert Redford his eye. You need to keep both eyes open. That was supposed to be like a serious thing about with his eye though, but that's turned into a joke because in Captain Marvel, no, it was the cat Goose, the Flurkin, that scratched his eye out. That's how he lost his eye. That was all that in Winter Soldier. That was a joke now. So yeah, but Nick Fury, I mean, this character's getting is another Marvel character in this franchise is getting ruined now as being treated as a joke now. With a secret invasion, this and just Samuel Jackson. I like Samuel Jackson. Just I think this time the character to be done with. I don't know how many more he can go on playing as Nick Fury. But then the whole thing, the ultimate battle with the Kree leader. I don't know what her name was. I don't care because her character's about as boring and bland as a villain can come. And so she gets both of the bracelet and she used it and she ends up blowing herself up. I'm like, this would if she would have got the other bracelet in the first place, it would save us a whole lot of time from this movie. But we would have no movie, right? But it would, if they just gave her the other bracelet in the first place, she would have blown up anyway. So, which ultimately she does, and Carol, which she restores the Kree's son in like 10 seconds. Like she realized what she thought she was originally doing the right thing, but she didn't. So she goes and fixes their son in like a flash. I'm like. There's another thing. If she could have done this in the first place, then, but once again, we would have no movie or storyline, right? So she could have done this in the first place, but we would have no movie though. But she fixed their son and their dying son in like 10 seconds, and everything's fine and dandy with the Kree now. But because of what the villain did, it creates like a hole in the timeline, or another universe opens up, right? So Rambo, she goes and closes it from the other side, and then everything's fine and dandy with Carol and Kamala. And during one of the credits, Kamala recruits Kate Bishop from the Hawkeye series. Kate Bishop, who was also if you watch that series, that's another thing. If you watch this movie, you're wondering who this girl is, without watching the TV show, you're wondering who is this girl, That's the thing. You have to watch the TV shows to get the connection, to understand who these characters are, I mean, so you have to go back and waste your time to watch all the TV shows to get the understanding about these characters, So, I mean, I've watched most of those episodes of those TV shows of Hawkeye, WandaVision. WandaVision sucked. Secret Invasion sucked. Miss Marvel, iffy. I mean, Kamala. The character Kamala Khan, played by Miss Marvel, played by Amy Vellani. Mispronounce her name. I think she was not that bad as Miss Marvel. I think if anything can give any positives about this film, I think that she, Iman Vellani, I think she was decent as Miss Marvel. Who's a big fan of Miss Marvel. When she was excited to meet her idol, and she's being part of this team working Miss Marvel. I think that she was decent, in the film. Her acting was not that bad, If I can say positive about that, I think she was decent in the movie. I mean, what was her name? Parris, who plays Rambo. She was alright. I mean, I know Carol Danvers. Carol Danvers. I guess compared to her performance in this than her last movie, Captain Marvel, I guess she has a little bit more of a personality to it. Try to be a little more emotion. Because she felt guilty about what happened, what she did with the Kree and all that. So they're trying to maybe she has a little bit more of a personality in this though, but still she was just, especially with Brie Larson, especially all the shit she said in the past, Especially with talking about guys and all that. I mean, keep your opinions to yourself, will you? All right. And plus, you're still, even though she's a little bit more personality in this movie, I still to me, she was still as boring as Captain Marvel, regardless. Like I said, Samuel Jackson, he's wasted in this as Nick Fury. That character's pretty much ruined now. And so after growing up with Kate Bishop, Kamala wants to hire her to be, for the Young Avengers. Great. And then afterwards, of course, the other credits were now Rambo. She's now in an alternate universe, an alternate reality, right? Like Doctor Strange was, right? The Multiverse of Madness. She sees her mom, who's alive, but it's a different version who she does not recognize. She does not recognize her, saying, "Who are you?" And then we get Kelsey Grammer, his cameo as Beast from the X-Men, and where she's at, where Rambo's at. She's in the X-Men mansion. Because because he's walked by, you see the the same X doors we see from the previous X-Men movies, and he mentions Charles, Professor X, Now, I was wondering why I first saw this is I know it's Kelsey Grammer's voice, no doubt about it, but is he still wearing the same makeup and suit, or is he CG'd in this movie? It was hard for me to tell, because if it was did a good job of fooling me if it was CG, or is it still him wearing the same makeup and suit, So I know he wore the makeup and suit in his cameo at the end of X-Men Days of Future Past for that one cameo where as he's walking by saying hello to Wolverine. But is that still really Kelsey Grammer in makeup and suit again, or is he just CG'd? And I know they're trying to give him the comic book look of Beast. His hair is like a little bit slicked back, and he's wearing the glasses, and he's wearing the lab coat that sometimes what Beast wears. So, and he mentions Charles, Professor X. So so in this universe, there's another Professor Charles Xavier in this. And as he walks away, then Rambo's mom is asking, "Who are you?" But she doesn't know who she is, so... And she goes and says... Rambo says, "Oh, shit." So, yeah. So, the Marvels... there's a reason why this film bombed so badly. I'm glad it deserves so, Because this just shows people are just getting burned out of superhero films, just like I am, I'm not making it up. If you look all the box office of all the superhero movies from last year... Yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy is... if you count Spider-Man in this across the Spider-Verse, they're the only two ones that made the money last year. If you look at all the DC movies from last year and the rest of the Marvel films from last year, from this year, I'm not making it up. People are just I think just people are just getting burned out of superhero films. I think it's time for the superhero genre, whether it's MCU or DC or other regular Marvel films. To me, they just need to take a break. Give other films a chance to make money other than the superhero films, because next year I know the Kraven the Hunter will not do that well. Madam Web I don't think won't do that well either. But for the next MCU movie, it's Deadpool 3, so that won't even come out until next year. Next year, we are in this year. This year until July. So the MCU, we're getting an MCU rest for now until July, so it's gonna be a while. So. Deadpool 3. I want to have hope for that movie. I do, because I enjoy the first two Deadpool movies. Yes, people are very excited to see get a proper Deadpool and Wolverine, which was completely butchered in X-Men Origins Wolverine. People are so excited to see Hugh Jackman is back as Wolverine, wearing the costume. If you see him for the photos, So people are so excited about it. I just hope I can be wrong on this, because I would like to like Deadpool 3, but knowing my own better judgment and with all the superhero fatigue in me, I'm getting burned out on. Yes, I like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I do though, but but it doesn't make it for all the rest of the superhero films I've seen, DC and Marvel. to me, Deadpool 3 is the last glimmer of hope for me, like another Marvel film or superhero film, you know? I just hope that Sean Levy doesn't screw it up. I just don't. I just hope he doesn't. I mean, Deadpool 3 is being directed by the guy who did the Night at the Museum movies. And he also did the 2006 not Black Panther, Pink Panther, the Pink Panther remake with Steve Martin. Yeah, he directed Free Guy, which also starred Ryan Reynolds. But he's known for, to me, he's known for directing the Night at the Museum movies. So I just really hope he doesn't screw it up. I just don't. I can just only hope there's a small glimmer of hope that Deadpool 3, I would like Deadpool 3. But only time will tell. We'll just see when. Hopefully, a trailer will come out later, maybe the next couple months. Who knows? I just hope Deadpool 3 doesn't screw up, because to me, if I don't like Deadpool 3, then I have no more hope for anymore. No more superhero movies for me, please. No more. I don't care about any upcoming ones like the Captain America 4 or Thunderbolts. I don't give a shit about. I don't. So, but yeah, overall, this film sucked. It was boring as hell. The villain was bland and boring and generic as you can come. Oh, I mean, I don't care if it was all women. I don't care, you know. It's not the point. Each one of the characters. The villain was just boring. That's the thing. Everything. This whole film is epitomizing a one word: boring, boring. And thank God it was a shorter movie this time. Thank God. But it was still boring as hell. It sucked, you know. Everything I said about Nick Fury, wasted. Brie Larson, yeah, have a little more personality, but still, she still was boring in the film. Rambo, I was to say on the verge of being boring, but best character I saw was decently was Eamon Vellani as Miss Marvel. I mean, she was the best character I liked. You know, I mean, she was overall decent in the movie. You know, to me, the fights are nothing. Why we had to have a scene that it turns into a musical and it sucked, and the singing sucked. And the whole idea with having the rest of the crew, you know, getting swallowed by alien cats, you know, and then later spitting him out because that's supposed to be funny, right? The humor in this film was not funny, or the comedy sucked. Yeah, they take things from Spaceballs, you know, which is a lot better. Like the sucking all the air out of the atmosphere. Yeah, that's not a Spaceball thing at all, is it? I mean, like I said before, Godzilla -1 I just reviewed, it's easily better than this film or any other superhero film I've seen from last year. Easily. At least with the human characters I enjoyed, you know, with the lead guy, and Godzilla, you know, showing what he's more of. Godzilla was more of a menace and a villain in that movie than this bland, boring villain in this movie. Easily. Fights are just basic, you know, the whole idea, using the powers and they all get transported to different locations. That could have worked, you know. It could have worked. Could have been interesting. But I'm glad this film bombed. It did. It just, with this film, it just gives people to think about future superhero movies or next MCU movies, you know. So that's why I'm not overall angry, because it was not a surprise to me. I expected this film to suck. So that's why I'm not fully enraged about it, because I expected it. So, but yeah. So the Marvels, another Marvel MCU / superhero movie sucked. So anyway, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more, and we'll see you next time. Later.